Our family of 6 lives in 950 square foot with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and I am sharing our organized and realistic home tour with you so you can share in how I have done up our home to function well as a family of 6. Hello and welcome to my itty bitty home tour of 950 square foot as a family of 6. So I have shared this now for about 3 years in a row of our little home, but many years we have added a new baby. So it started with 4, then 5, and now 6 people living in our home of 950 square foot. I'm sharing my lived in, real life, organized, small home. I do want to preface, we are renovating our basement, so we will be adding an extra 500 square foot to our home whenever that project gets completed. I shared a video on what's happening in the basement renovation back in early spring, and things have stalled again due to summer months, due to getting contractors here, things of that nature. But I will definitely share, it would be about our 1,400 square foot home when that gets finished. So right now we are a 2-bedroom, 1-bath family with an eat-in kitchen, living space, and kind of this extra little living piano room area that we've got. So come along as I share my home in a realistic, organized life setting. First things first, welcome to my front entry. This is about a 4x4 area that people can walk into. It is not insulated. It is not technically part of the square footage of the home because it is not like a real livable space, but it's a great place to hang some coats, hang some decor in the summer because people don't have coats, take your shoes off, sit on a chair, and wipe your feet off on a rug before you enter into the living space. So welcome to our living room area. This direction is where we just came in, and now to the right is when you walk in, we have our living room area. And then this area is my piano area. We got a couple extra chairs. I have some toys and some picnic baskets in some baskets underneath some chairs. So it's kind of an extra playroom per se for the kids because we don't have a playroom in our home. Our 3 oldest kids share one room and they do play in there some, but it's mainly meant for sleeping in there and having their quiet time on their beds in that space. So this is a nice little extra space, but let's talk about the living room and how that is organized. If you actually want to see my home decor tour, I did share a summer home decor tour, cottage style with like an Americana touch, as it was our America's 250th anniversary this year, so I added some fun little DIY touches to the home. You can check that video out in the description box, but right now we're just talking practical organization and how my home is kind of laid out. So this coffee table was an antique find for about $100. I love the cottage vibe it brings with the wood and the metal legs, and it stores some library books in this side, and then we also have some of our simple kids games. Row Your Goat, that's a good one if you don't have that one. Some sticker books if kids want to do sticker books out here. And it kind of just is a good place to corral for like a few papery things for some of the kids to have here. And this has been well loved in the past year and a half that we have had this coffee table. With it being a soft wood, it does get some colors on it. It gets dented and nicked, but I love it. I love it for the little bit of extra storage that it adds to the space. Having a space for people to put their coffee mugs. We host a Bible study once a week here. We host often, so just nice to have a space for all the chairs of the people that are gathered here. All right, so as you walk in, you will see this really nice big blanket basket. A lot of my home is thrifted or hand-me-down, but lately I've added a few newer touches because sometimes thrifted or antique is just as expensive as new. So this basket was an Amazon find, and I just roll our blankets to make them fit better in here. They are used often, and yes, we have to put them back away often because kids use them, my husband and I use them. It's just a great space. Baskets, you'll notice, baskets are key to keeping a home organized. They can be the plastic kind, but I love the wicker style for when I have more open storage. So let's move over to this section on the other side of this chair where I have more baskets and other organization. This area is a nice area for our books. My husband keeps his Bibles just right here on the floor actually. And then we have photo albums in here. I love keeping real pictures in our home of when our kids were little or as they grow up, and to have them, I try to keep up to date with them. I'm a little bit behind on having 4 kids, so my 4th one doesn't have one yet, but those are in here along with a few extra coffee table books. Then this is my basket of books I like to read that I have read. This is a great one. My Bible's in here, some of my journals in here, also my foot roller for when I had plantar fasciitis. So just some random things in this basket. Like I said, this is a realistic, organized home tour. It's not decluttered. It's not just like set and put together perfectly. So very realistic basket of my stuff here. And in here, we just have a couple boxcar children books because I will sit here and read to the kids as well, or take the books outside and the kids know where to find these then. I'm not going to touch on this area too much. In here are DVDs, and then we have a book basket full of kids books. So nothing too grand. There's also a few extra decor books that I do like swap out and put up here for different things, different times of the season that I would like to put those out. So very simple in this little built-in cabinet area. Okay, so the kitchen is through this pony wall walkway area, and I like the pony wall there. It kind of gives a little bit of separation. I feel like if I took it out, it would make almost some of the kitchen too exposed. So I really like that little area. Our 1.5 chairs there, and then this is the extra space to the living area. So we moved our furniture over to the wall on that side. It used to be literally like making a wall right here when you walked in. This has opened it up so much. I really don't feel like this space looks as small because of that. And it kind of brings the kids into the flow of it. Sometimes, yes, it makes it hard to see all the toys for me because I'm not a huge fan of having clutter out in a space, but it works and I'm happy to have rearranged that furniture in that way. So piano is here, and we have a picnic basket on the floor with our school stuff, which we're taking a break in the summer. And I know as the kids get older and I get multiples doing school, right now I just have 2 of the 4 doing school, that I'm gonna have to move where I store my school stuff. Maybe in that basket will be the actively using stuff, and then when our basement gets renovated, we're gonna do a built-in wall of bookshelves, and kind of like our built-in with the under cabinet area. That could probably be where we store all our school stuff. But in this area, I'll just show how I have the toys organized and a few other things that we have to have. Okay, so as you see, this was the door we walked in from the porch. And then this chair is actually gonna head downstairs when it's renovated. And I found that lamp thrifted too. So that probably won't stay up here, but honestly, it kind of makes that corner a little bit cozier. So over here, we have another chair, and then in that music, it's called a music cabinet. It was my grandmother's. I have papers for church groups I'm in charge of. My husband is in groups that he's in charge of. And I also have extra music books in there. And then actually it stores extra candles. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of a organization container, but it works really well for our space. And then there's a few other baskets right over here with some toys, like tool toys. And then I'll show you how we organize the stackable baskets, because the picnic baskets for a lot of you have been something you've taken ideas from me, and I love it because you could just stack them way up and take them down as needed for kids, because you don't want them to topple over on the kids. So for my little 1-year-old, almost 1-year-old, I'll unstack them, and that way he can get the cars out and toys out. So let me show you that. All right, so this is what I mean. It's a picnic basket. It's got toys in it, but it's really handy for the kids to pull some stuff out. And under there are ones that we don't use as much. There's puzzles in that one, and just a few other things that we will kind of swap because it's on the bottom. They honestly don't use it as much. So it's kind of nice to then take them off and unstack them, and then they feel like they have new toys. And then under here I do have another basket of like some bigger tractors and trucks and stuff for my boys to play with. All right, so in this cupboard on the bottom we have mugs, we have some just random things, to be honest, candle holders, candles, and then some electrolyte mixes because we're using those a lot this summer. All my essential oils are in this box. I have some dried herbs, some teas. All our supplements are up here for my husband and I, and then extra teas and a container of teas to bring down when guests come, and our travel mugs. So this is all in this cabinet, and it really is not close to where we get our tea from, to be honest, or coffee. Our coffee maker is over on the other side of the kitchen on a antique shelf cabinet thing that I have, Hoosier cabinet type thing. So it is what it is, and this is where we have it. All right. Oh, down below, this is our speaker and cords. It literally, that's what's in there. So again, very practical, like I said. All right, in here, extra storage containers, our glass storage containers, glass bowls, extra lids and rings. I was in a very avid label era when I have a label maker, but I haven't labeled things lately. So for a while, I was literally labeling everything. Like even my shelves in the fridge were labeled, which was not a good idea because as we've gotten more kids, it doesn't work to have things sit on the same shelves. I digressed. Anyways, top shelf has like my breast pump and bottles, which I honestly hardly ever use because my baby only nurses. And then a few extra storage containers, cheese grater, and a kitchen scale. So that's what it is. These cabinets, I have said before, and the ones below just wrap around, so it's actually open to the ones right over here. Okay, plates, bowls, mixing bowls, my vintage mixing bowls, and extra bowls and stuff on top. Very basic. One tip I have if you want more storage is to use these wire shelves. I've had this for a long time, and it's great for stacking plates on. So this actually does connect, like I said, to the other cabinet right here. Then this one, cups, glasses, cups and glasses, and I just use mason jars for all different needs. The asparagus jars are great for my husband and I. These are good for kids. When guests come, we'll use the pint. You know, it's just great to have these because I can often anyways, so I have a lot of jars on hand. All right, let's pop down here. So right here is my silverware drawer. Right here are some of my measuring utensils and things like a ice cream scoop and a can opener and my egg slicer. So just things I need on the ready but aren't as used. Junk drawer, definitely. I don't know if that's a Midwest thing, but we definitely have a junk drawer where you hold your extra scissors and measuring tape and stamps and pencils. So this is one that I try to keep semi-organized, but it's called a junk drawer for a reason. So it is what it is. Like I said, it's very lived in. Towels and tea towels, and we use cloth napkins. This I bought an organizer for with my sandwich bags and gallon bags, and then I just put my roller in here, and I did switch to reusable bags for like snack bags and sandwich bags. I do still have some plastic, but the reusable are great for things like putting a half a banana in or taking a trail mix with us. So really nice to have those washable, reusable bags. Down at the bottom might need to be changed a little bit. So there are some aprons for the little kids and plastic cups and snack cups, which I don't really have my kids use that much other than maybe the baby. So that might be something we kind of nix in the next months or so, but for now it works. And this cupboard is some of my glass baking ware and like my electric skillet. Then over in the corner is a waffle iron and just some of the things like a cheesecake pan that I don't access as often, maybe twice a year, but the waffle iron we do use quite often. So like my glass baking dishes, there's another mixing bowl. These glass Pyrex containers, bread pans. Honestly, I saved some extra plates that I thought I was gonna get rid of, but we have company over so often that it's nice to have more than 10 plates, honestly, so that we can use real dishware. So that's kind of in here. And another Banneton basket. Again, it's kind of a Narnia cupboard. It goes all the way to the wall over there. So sometimes I forget I have things, so it is good to declutter, which I do need to still do in this space. Okay, so under the sink is typical under the sink, I guess. We still have a small trash can under here. And then I put my dishwasher pods in a jar here. I keep extra jars to put grease in. Those stay under there. So if I get grease off of some ground beef or something, I'll put them in here. And then I actually put our paper towels under here. Looks like it needs to be refilled. So that's under there. We have a reverse osmosis filtration system here. So that takes up the majority of it under there. I have like my little scrubby just in a container here with another brush, like a potato brush. So that sits there too. Nothing fancy, it's what it is. I honestly like having a smaller garbage can that is tucked under here because I empty it almost daily then, instead of letting it sit and get really gross. So I don't mind having a small garbage, and it's under here, and the kids just know that's where the garbage is. We don't keep our cleaning supplies under the sink at all. They're up high actually, but I use mostly natural cleaning products anyway, so that does not go in the kitchen. It goes in a whole separate area, which I'll get to. So I just canned some pimento peach jam, which I'm excited to try. So it's just resting now for 24 hours on the countertop. But anyways, like I said, we're just living life and sharing it along the way. And in this cabinet here are my spices. So I did about 2 years ago, finally decanted them into a nicer spice jar than what I originally had. So I like that it has the shaker top, plus you can open it to get more out if you'd like. Before it just had a flip top and it would fall out so quick that you would accidentally over season. So those are here. I have like other baking, vanilla up here, baking powder, baking soda, arrowroot powder, salt and pepper are here. And I wipe that down every so often because it gets dirty and gross, but this is a great spot for these spices because it's right by the stove. All right, so I'm gonna quickly mention this. These are like my bigger cooking utensils. So like a ladle, I store like a thermometer and tongs and grater, and then actually my trivets are in here too. So this kind of gets a little congested sometimes, but I keep it minimal so that it doesn't get super congested. No, it's not like a minimalist minimal. I also have a canister where I have some other wooden spoons in too. So this does get a little full sometimes, but it works really well and it closes. That's a big bonus. All right, down here are some wood cutting boards I have. I have some pots and pans and my Dutch oven, and then some cast iron, and that's all that's in here. So under my stove, I do have baking sheets, like cookie sheets and muffin tins. Those are under there because why not when you've got the storage space under there? This cupboard has our extra baking spices and baking powders, cinnamon, stuff like that. So in that container there, and then some in here, and our bigger bags of seasonings and spices there above the microwave. All right, so right next to our glass doors, sliding doors, where we are in and out all the time in the summer, these are some of my favorite drawers. These were slide outs, which I love. So this is kind of our snack drawer area. We have all our nuts and dried goods and crackers and like our cream of wheat and cocoa wheats that I make the kids for breakfast sometimes. This little glass snack jar is in here, and then we have our toaster in here because there's an outlet in there, so I just unplug it every morning after we use it. And then my blender is also stored in here. Down here is another great drawer because it slides out again. So these are all my flours and my oils and sugars, so baking central right here. And then the bottom is like my hand mixer, my immersion blender, my food processor, and an extra mixing bowl, and some of more of the bulk bags of flours that I have. I do have a spot in my basement that I do store our like 50-pound bags of flour and the bulk that we do get. So up here is just kind of a little pantry since we don't have a pantry. So if you've watched my videos for any amount of time, you know that this is an area you see often because we make coffees in the morning and then I usually have a decaf latte in the afternoon. So in here is like our knock box, which is great. We found that actually at a thrift store, so it was really fun to find that. And then there's extra things like our checkbook and our extra envelopes are in this drawer. And then here is that label maker I was talking about in here, and a lighter. So just some random things. And then under here in this one are my extra coffees. And I did talk about 7 weeks coffee a couple videos ago, but it is one that I love, and I love the flavor and the taste of it, and especially because both the flavors that I have a bit of chocolate notes in them. And most importantly, I love that 10% of your purchase of this coffee goes to a pro-life center for mamas who want to have their babies to help them out. And it protects every beating heart. That's what the side of the bag says. So check out my description box so you can see if you would like to purchase the 7 weeks coffee and support such a good cause and get amazing coffee at that. It's also organic, mold-free, low acidity. I mean, it's a win-win all around. So anyways, extra coffee is stored here. I have a basket of to-go cups because when I get together with other mamas, I can sometimes bring them a coffee, or when they come to, if they just want a to-go cup of coffee, I can make them one. Alright, so this door leads to our basement and our back porch area, which is my laundry area mudroom. That is technically not part of our 950 square foot. It is not insulated, and it has been extremely humid and hot. It's been almost 100 the past week, plus it's going to be 100 this whole week. So it gets so hot and humid in there that we keep this door closed often. With it not being insulated. So eventually we'll get to renovating that when the basement gets done, when that happens. This is kind of a contentment game here and just being content in the space that we have. All right, back to the organization. Right here, accordion rack. It is practical. I use this colander often. I use my little hand broom, and I'm drying some herbs on the rack as well. But in this cupboard, this is another kind of random cupboard. So I have like my protein powder. Yes, we do have a little bit of cereal. That was a treat for the kids. Some of our summer plates, birthday party plates, extra plasticware. And then we have like gum and marshmallows and brewer's yeast. It's very random, I'm telling you. And then some extra like canning things in here and kombucha jars. And on the top I have my recipe books and recipe binder and recipe cards and some trays. So it's just another catch-all for the kitchen because you kind of need that for some of those really random things. Oh, and bibs are hanging right there too. All right, let's not forget about down here. I put a curtain on here because I redid the kitchen, I repainted the cabinets and got new hardware, but I ran into the fact that with the new hardware, we had to cut the cabinets down, and we did not get this one cut down. So why not add an extension rod, find a cute curtain, and put it there. This is where I store my bigger pieces of kitchen appliances, crock pots, Instant Pot. My wheat grinder is up there on another shelf in there. So I access this at least once or twice a week, if not 3 times a week. So it's nice to have the curtain too because you can just slide it one way or the other. Okay, so in the hallway here is where I have some of our cleaning products. Up here are our cleaning products, and then they're very tight cupboards as well. So I have my natural all-purpose cleaning spray, which is over on my blog if you want to know how to make a really simple DIY vinegar cleaning spray. Basket of cleaning items, and then down here is some more cleaning things and our Dyson handheld vacuum. We used to have a corded vacuum, and then it was incredible. Got this cordless vacuum. My kids can do it so easy. I love it. If you don't have this, I'll put the link in the description box for you to check it out. So more cleaning products in this area, like my dust rakes, my window cleaners, some magic erasers, which are great for getting pen off walls, things like that. You gotta have all those little things, and I love having this little haul area for that purpose. Okay, so then as you do progress further, this bigger cupboard and cabinet holds things like extra winter clothes, all of our board games, kids craft things, and coloring books. It needs a really good organization, and maybe that'll be a whole nother video, because it is hard as kids get older and they want to do more crafty things and DIYs to keep it contained, especially in a small home. This cupboard is really big. It goes back really deep, but we do have a lot of board games. We just had a fun board game night with some other adults. So we do play a lot of board games in our house. And we have also extra shoes in there, like a hanging shoe rack. So it is a space where it stores a lot of well-accessed things, but it just needs some different revamping, I think. So I love having all the storage that we do in our home, but it just needs a little bit more love, I think, and maybe some better idea on organizing. Yes, it still is functional and it works well, but you know, you can always adjust and change as you live in a home and figure out different systems. All right, so down at the end of the hallway, we'll get to that little hall cupboard, but let's pop in the bathroom first. All right, so I am here in our bathroom. I shared our whole DIY renovation of our very small bathroom that we have, and it has been a great functional bathroom for us. So the vanity I love has lots of storage. So in here we have extra things like extra shampoos, and I always keep a cleaning spray bottle, toilet bowl cleaner, kids extra bath toys in there. So things of that nature. And then toothbrushes are in the top drawer. Hair products are in this drawer. And then we also have my husband's products in this drawer and my makeup and face products in the bottom drawer. Then we have one more drawer. I really like this vanity for the sake of storage. It has things like a blow dryer, which I actually rarely use, nail polish container, my straightener, some bigger things like some big headbands that did not fit in with the hair drawer actually, and then extra makeup and like Toops and Co stuff that I have when I bought it on sale, because I know I will use them. I just didn't want to put them in my actively using drawer. Thing in this bathroom, I do store a few extra washcloths up here for really quick use if we need it, a room spray, and then again it's just kind of decor, and then our towels are over here. So we have 4 hooks. There are 6 of us that use the bathroom here, but they're a double hook, so our kids each share a hook here. Okay, so let's real quickly talk about this hall storage. So baby's up from nap, so I will share this, and then my bedroom and the kids' bedroom as well, and that'll be the home. So in here are some of our necessities. This is our go-to in the summer months. We've got some like Band-Aids, a little first aid kit here, some of my home kit homeopathic medicines in here, different other things like cough syrup, things like that if we ever need stuff like that. Then baby washcloths, like extra towels. In here are washcloths and hand towels, extra toilet paper. I have some extra cloth napkins over there. I have extra baby wipes, extra things on this side for when I DIY candles or when I've made chapstick, things like that. Up top is a little sewing kit, and over here is extra jewelry and more like extra towels, rag towels, also extra sheets down here. I missed that, and my iron and things like that. On the very bottom is my one basket that gets used the most. It is my too small clothes for the kids. They throw their clothes in there that are too small that need to either be donated or put into a tote for a sibling coming up. So that is a thing that I highly recommend, is to have a place where you can put your clothes that you're donating or your kids' clothes that you want to donate or move out of the rooms. All right, let's talk about the kids' room. So our 3 oldest kids, 7, 5, and 3, share this room. Oldest is on the top bunk, middle on the bottom, and then the 3-year-old is on the toddler bed. So we do have under bed storage that I love, like doctor stuff in here. And I just have different bins for different things. Kitchen toys, craft paper, so they can pull things out as they need and put it back underneath the bed, which I love. Just separate bins for different things, slide it back under the bed, out of sight, and then it keeps it organized as well. They do have a dresser they share for all 3, and then a closet with hanging clothes and some extra books in there. I'm just looking at it right now. There are hampers in there, some really big homemade pillows that someone gave them. They have some extra clothes in bins up top, and some extra blankets as well, and then little boxes that they love for their special things, that their keepsakes that I have for them in there, and then just a few other bins and baskets for like baby stuff, slippers, things like that. So they've made it work for 3 of them, but like I said, with a basement, that will be such a blessing. The girls will have a room in the basement and a bathroom down there as well. So in this master bedroom space, I have tried to make it a little oasis for my husband and I. Yes, we have a baby in here. Yes, a little baby. And he sleeps just in the pack and play right over here. I also have a little mini rocking chair right back here that I nurse him through the night, because yes, he's still waking up through the night. But it's a small one since our space is small. And then our bed right here. So I have some baskets for things like diapers and a trash can, so simple things like that. And over in this area, it is our bed. I have a nightstand over here. In the drawer are some sentimental things like cards my husband has given me or extra cords. And then our dresser, the top drawer is for the baby, then my stuff, and then my husband's clothes as well. So it is nice to have that kind of be a nightstand as well for my husband and I. But then I do want to mention, we have a bed skirt on our bed, and under the bed on the back side I have a bin of winter clothes. So there's just some extra things in there that is nice to keep under a bed. Or we also have our bin of sentimental things, like my husband's medals from when he ran cross country and track in college and high school. So things like that go under the bed. In the closet, both closets in each room are the exact same size. They're very small. The built-in shelving worked well. It was already there when we moved in quite a few years ago. But so like my hanging dresses are here, and then we have socks in this bin, my husband's running clothes, my pajamas and shorts, my husband's hanging clothes over here, like church shirts, some belts. There's a few random odds and ends that get put in a closet, right? And then up here are my husband's like khaki shorts and pants. Then I have like a sweaters bin, and then a workout bin over there. And then way up top are things like intimates or ties, things like that. Our laundry hamper is down here as well. My drying rack gets stored in here for clothes. We have a couple more bins down there of diapers, extra diapers for him, as well as things like some clothes that I need to donate too. So I have a bin in here for stuff like that. So that is our bedroom. I love our small little home. It creates a cozy atmosphere, bonding with the family. It is so much more affordable, and I hope that you are inspired, if you have a small home, to feel contentment with where you are at. We also love our outdoor space and live there often in the summer months for sure. So create a good outdoor space, even if you have a little deck or a whole big patio or a yard or grass, whatever you've got, make that work for you as well. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along as I share some videos like these, our small home living, simple and thrifted living, homemaking, and my journey of motherhood in this small and cozy home. So hope you enjoyed our organized, real life, realistic home tour, and I will talk with you in the next video. Have a blessed and beautiful, wonderful summer day.